Hello and welcome to Wealth Rise. This is where we break down the systems that can either build your wealth or, well, keep you broke. Today, we're going to dig into a question that seems to defy all financial logic.
So let's just start with something that makes absolutely no sense, right? Why on earth would anyone pay 50 times more for something that does the exact same job as the cheaper version? It goes against everything we think we know about money. But believe me, it happens all the time.
I want you to picture these two t-shirts. They're basically identical. Same cotton, probably made in a similar factory. They both cover your body. Now, every economics textbook on the planet says we're rational people, right? We buy the $10 shirt, no question. But that's not what happens. In the real world, that $500 shirt with the little logo doesn't just sell, it sells out. People will actually stand in line for it. This isn't just a funny little quirk, you guys. It's a fundamental glitch in our financial programming.
And yep, that glitch, it has a name. It's called the Veblen Paradox, and it's a powerful psychological trap that keeps millions of people broke because it tricks them into thinking that spending way more money is somehow the smart thing to do.
A Veblen good basically takes Economics 101 and throws it right out the window. Think about it. The basic law of demand is simple. When the price of something goes up, fewer people want it. Demand goes down. But for these special items, the higher the price tag, the more people desperately want to buy them. So, how is that even possible?
This right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. You're not buying the item despite the insane price. You are literally buying the price itself. The ridiculousness of it, the exclusivity, that huge financial wall that keeps most people out, that is the main feature you're actually paying for.
To really get this, we've got to go back in time. We have to look at the guy who first cracked the code on the, let's say, strange spending habits of the super rich.
So, picture this. It's 1899. An economist named Thorstein Veblen is just watching the Gilded Age elites, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, and he noticed something really weird. They were buying stuff that was intentionally impractical. Stuff like silver spoons that were too heavy to actually eat with, or corsets so tight you could barely breathe. And he had this light bulb moment. They weren't buying things for how useful they were. They were buying them for how wasteful they were.
And he came up with a perfect name for it: conspicuous consumption. Now, here's the part you really got to get. It's not about just owning a nice thing. It's about making damn sure everybody else knows you can afford to waste a ridiculous amount of money on it. It's a performance. It's a public display of your financial power.
You know, this whole thing is hardwired into us. It's basically the human version of a peacock's tail. I mean, think about it. That giant tail is a massive burden. It's heavy. It makes it hard to fly, and it basically screams, "Hey, predators, come and get me." But that's the whole point. It's signaling to female peacocks, "Look at me. I'm so strong, so genetically superior, that I can survive even with this ridiculous handicap." That's what conspicuous consumption is for us.
And let me tell you, modern luxury brands have become absolute masters at weaponizing this deep primal instinct. They create artificial scarcity. I mean, think about Hermes making you buy a bunch of other stuff just for the privilege of getting on a list to spend 10 grand on a Birkin bag. They know that by making something almost impossible to get, they trigger our status anxiety, which makes us want it 10 times more.
Okay, but here's where this game gets really, really dangerous. It's a game that was designed by the ultra-wealthy for the ultra-wealthy. And when regular middle-class people try to play, the results can be absolutely devastating to their finances.
You end up stuck on what's called the treadmill of consumption. It goes like this. You stretch your budget, maybe take on debt, to get that entry-level luxury car or designer bag to feel like you've arrived. But the second that item becomes too common, the elite just move on. The logos that used to scream, "I'm rich," now just seem kind of basic. So they pivot to quiet luxury, stuff with no logos that's still ridiculously expensive. And you're left trapped in this endless, unwinnable race to try and catch up.
And look, the math on this is just brutal. When a billionaire drops 100 grand on a car, it's a rounding error. It doesn't impact their ability to build more wealth at all. But when an average person makes that same purchase, it could wipe out their entire net worth. You're playing a game that you are mathematically designed to lose.
You're making one of the worst trades you could possibly make. You are giving up assets that grow for you over time, things like stocks, your retirement accounts, and you're swapping them for liabilities that start losing value the second you take them home. You are literally trading your future freedom for the appearance of wealth today.
So, how do you win a game that's rigged against you? It's simple. You refuse to play. You have to completely opt out of the status game and choose a much smarter, much more powerful philosophy. It's time that we redefined status. Real status isn't a fancy car that you're constantly worried about getting a scratch on. No. Real status is having enough FU money in the bank to quit a job you hate, to take a year off to travel, to be the one who controls your own time. True status is autonomy. It's freedom. So really, it all comes down to a choice. Are you going to focus on buying visible stuff that depreciates, just to send a signal to strangers? Or are you going to focus on building invisible wealth, compounding assets that buy you personal freedom? One road leads to anxiety and debt. The other leads to security and genuine peace of mind.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Real wealth isn't the flashy stuff you can see. It's the money you didn't spend. It's that army of dollars quietly working for you in your investment accounts, building a fortress of financial security that no one else can see but you know is there. Okay, so the next time you feel that powerful magnetic pull towards some expensive thing, I want to give you a really simple mental tool you can use to break the spell.
Just ask yourself this one simple question. If there was nobody left on the planet to impress, no one to show off to, would you still want this thing? If the honest answer is no, then you're not buying it for you. You're buying it as a signal for other people, and you're about to trade a piece of your freedom for it.
Look, getting out of this trap, it all comes down to one really profound internal shift. You have to completely separate your value as a person from the brand of watch on your wrist. Breaking that mental link between your self-worth and your net worth, that's the real key to financial power.
Because at the end of the day, the ultimate flex, the most impressive signal you can possibly send, isn't something you can buy. It's that quiet confidence you see in someone who isn't a slave to status, someone who has built a life of freedom on their own terms. That is a signal that can't be bought and it can't be faked.
Hey, if this explainer made you think twice about your next purchase, do me a favor and hit that like button to help spread the message. Share it with a friend who might need to hear this, and of course, subscribe to Wealth Rise for more on building real, invisible wealth. Thanks for watching.